let's get into something that we all probably watched. Was most likely had to be What If. Cause I know everybody's seen that last episode, bro.
Man, that was so hard, bro.
That did it for me, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Which
we
so
kind of all peeped that
hard.
most of these episodes was gonna connect. Like I'm like, it would have made perfect sense if it did. Which I was like, I kind of seen it happen at first. They try to make it seem like it was in different, like in a way, it kind of was different realities in a way, like in just different universes. But you know, they still found a way to how to come and connect everything together, especially having the Watcher, the centerpiece of everything. So yeah, I like how they definitely did that with Doctor. And then that makes me wonder, like, because I'm seeing a lot of these characters, like they said they can possibly put in this Doctor Strange multiverse of madness. So like even with the big creature with the long, like you know what I'm saying, with the long arms and everything like that, and Captain Britain and all that. So I'm like, we can possibly see these characters in live action. I'm most likely gonna see the Dark Doctor Strange Supreme. Most likely, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see that version of him too, because I think that's probably like the most OP version of Doctor Strange that we haven't seen yet. And I'm like,
oh my goodness, yes, you are so right, cousin. Like I also think that we're going to see him some more too, especially like the ending. Like the thing about Marvel, this is why I love Marvel compared to like, I love Lucasfilms too, but compared to Marvel, no one is as cohesive with all of their content as Marvel is. So Marvel can make these what ifs merge with like the Loki, merge with the MCU movies, merge with like the cartoons and shit, and they can make it look very and feel very cohesive as one story. For example, T, like you mentioned how they were able to make these standalone stories and these standalone characters merge into a team, into one story, and now they can kind of branch off if they wanted to as well. I think that, Terry, to your point, I think that they would bring these characters into other platforms, whether it be like live action show or live action movie. I say that because they made us care about these characters too much. Like I care about Captain Britain. I was like, oh, I want her to get some loving. I was like, oh, Captain Britain needs Steve, right? Mm-hmm. They made me care about Doctor Strange and his struggle. They made me care about like how Killmonger. They made me like hella interested in Killmonger. Not care, but he a little ass sometimes. But it made me interested.
Killmonger is my boy. I'm gonna be honest with this.
So I'm thinking like, why?
Right.
Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna be honest. Now, how Killmonger did the whole thing, like trying to take power and control, and like, we all seen that coming for real. I mean, we all see that.
Why when he grabbed the head, I'm like, he gonna do some shady shit.
Like, we all knew he was gonna do some time. I mean, which really does kind of irritate, because it's like, it show Killmonger know how to do some good, but only if it's to his will, his bending, or his like. But, oh man, that's just my boy. As evil as he is, I do love Killmonger, bro. Like, I hate the fact that he's shady as a bad guy, but
he represents a villain for real, bro. Like that's what I like how Marvel doesn't like hide that fact, you know what I'm saying, mostly with these villains, you know what I'm saying, because like you said, most of them try to look at he was gonna most likely be an anti-hero. But you gotta understand what like Killmonger stand for, you know what I'm saying? He felt like he was like an outsider to the Wakandans and everybody, you know what I'm saying? So he felt like he need to conquer everything when he comes back, especially all the people he killed, all the people like he went around the world and killed to try to get where he's at. He feel like he deserved everything, you know what I'm saying? Even though it still ain't right, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, even in the part when...
Is that his purpose, though?
That's what makes me wonder, because if you look, like, just like the fact, like, how he killed out Tony Stark after he got basically all the weapons and all like that, when he realized it was basically like what now, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like he didn't really know what was his next to-go plan was, you know what I'm saying? So, I think that's really what they're trying to find out for his character, just like, what is his whole purpose behind it, because... we basically seen a tease of him winning, you know what I'm saying? We already seen of how the outcome can be, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, since we've seen that, what's the true, like, what are you really destined for now? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that can be what they can do in live action with Killmonger now, if they could possibly bring him back.
They made Joe Boy a little bit childish on that last episode, for real though, Frank.
Who Thor? Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Thor.
They made him too childish on this What If, for real.
I always thought, like, man, they didn't have... I mean, I understand, okay, Thor didn't have Loki in his life to make him more serious. Loki was Thor's test. or Thor's trial in life. Like, to have Loki, that balances you out to where you learn character, you learn struggle and stuff like that. And I get that. But I also feel like Thor had hella responsibility as being the son of Odin. And I feel like he would have been a little bit more arrogant. He wasn't even arrogant, really. He would have been way more arrogant. He would have been I don't know, man. I don't know. I just felt like he was a little bit too playful and a little bit too. I understand he's the humorous one out of the whole crew. Thor is the most funniest one, which is funny enough as it is. I don't know. I liked that he. I don't know. I like that he was funny. I don't like that he was super like just reckless. Right, like he shot his thunder out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I felt like as much as we know Thor, especially growing up, like you say, he's mostly looked at as like the honorable, you know what I'm saying, like goddess type of Thor. Like I felt like they just trying to show like he has different humor to his character, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they just trying to explore he ain't just that serious king of Asgard and all like that. Like I feel like they just trying to just explain more, just like he just got a different sense of humor to him. He ain't just like a goddess out there surrounded by all these like, you know what I'm saying, the heroes out here that's looked at as just human, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they just trying to just bring more personality to Thor. Because like, I felt like they kind of did that between Ragnarok and Dark World, because it seemed like it's like a whole character change almost to a way, you know what I'm saying? Like from his character to his look, everything. It's like I feel like they're just trying to give Thor just another perspective at this point. Because like you said, we always looked at Thor as like a serious type of character, you know what I'm saying?
And you know what, T? You might be, to your point, bro, I think that's a really good point. I think they are doing that because I think that his character in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or in Thor God of Thunder, I think he's going to be more laid back because he's now that's not his responsibility no more. He's not an Avenger. He doesn't have to save the world. He gave the leadership or the throne to Valkyrie, you know, so he don't really need to do anything. Obviously, he's probably going to bequeath his Thor power to Jane Foster or however they do that. So I see what you mean. They're probably making us think that Thor is less important now because he's stepping back.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, if that's somewhat what they're doing, at least we got somewhat of a tease or a sneak peek of Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, we already knew that was gonna happen regardless. It's just unfortunate that Chadwick passed away to a point. They knew they had to probably switch a little bit of the story up at this point now. But it seemed like they still going forward with it. You know what I'm saying?
Do y'all think so? Technically, as we know how phases work, technically one phase or one era is surrounded by this ultimate theme. So the first 3 phases, the ultimate theme was this big bad person wants to gather these gems and attack Earth and then attack everybody. That was the theme of it. It was always Thanos being the one behind the scenes doing shit, controlling Loki, controlling Ronan and everybody.
Everything, basically.
Everybody. This theme is multiverse. And I say that to say every movie that happens has to have something to do with the multiverse. Maybe not every movie, but most impactful movies, as we know. All the Captain America movies, right, were surrounding like his leadership, and then it started to veer off into like, you know, gems and everything. I think that Black Panther might have something to do with the multiverse stuff, and if that's the case, Killmonger might come back. They obviously can't bring Chadwick back, but because he's dead real life. But Killmonger could come back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So what you was about to say, bro?
No, I was saying, of course. I was agreeing because, basically, like Rick said, the actor's still here, and since it's multiverse, just because he, died in one universe, well, now there's, this open possibility of him being the same character in another universe with a different backstory. Like the what if, his uncle, he didn't have revenge, or he didn't want to go to Wakanda for vengeance for his uncle or his cousin. He wanted to go back and pretty much, empower Wakanda to be the strongest nation in the world, you know, probably the universe. So, you know, like his like deeds and everything were different, which is why they could possibly be like, okay, you know what, let's use this Killmonger and switch him up. You know, maybe he'll be an anti-hero instead of a villain, and the next, you know, thing, you know, like who knows? So I think that's pretty cool how they, because basically now it's like anything goes now. Like they can do anything with stories, you know, because it's multiverse, you know, like. You know, Wanda is kind of going down this path of like, you know, villainous type character, you know, but we don't know, you know, but, you know, they kind of just do whatever now.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because if you remember on that last episode when Doctor Strange brought the zombies on Ultron, and then they was basically saying it was, what you about to say, man?
I was about to say, I was agreeing with you. Like Wanda actually did pop up, which was a real kind of weird for me a little bit.
Bro, I feel like they're teasing everything that we can possibly see in live action going forward. Like we already know Wanda gonna be the main villain in the Doctor Strange 2, and we already know how powerful she is just in general. Like we already seen what she did to Ultron. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now the fact that she got the power of the Darkhold at this point, where it's making her like literally the strongest witch out of all. Like it's obviously she gonna break some type of multiverse where it's like Doctor Strange got to play some part up in it. He obviously gonna have to stop her in some type of way. And it's like,
yeah, of course.
Now that's why I be wondering, like, I don't know if they can possibly tease like X-Men up in this, or just more characters from, like you said, like from the Fox or Sony or anything like that. Because I'm like, bro, with this movie, you can do that with this in terms of this multiverse of madness. Now, like, this is the perfect movie you can really go with that route with if you want to put most of these either new characters or just the ones we've seen before from the last franchise. Yeah.
Hell, even most of the villains is getting a lot more love than heroes now, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I think that was probably the turn about the superhero movies in general, because I feel like since when we seen The Dark Knight, when we seen the perspective of Joker, I feel like everything, the perspective of superhero movies just changed for some reason. That and Iron Man, I feel like that in like 2008, that was just like a crazy year of superhero movie. It just seemed like it just took like, it just put a whole perspective on it. Because I feel like after when we had just Blade, Spider-Man, and X-Men, that's probably pretty much we had at that time.
Go ahead, bro.
And Fantastic Four, that was pretty much it. But we already know how that ended, you know what I'm saying? To a point they have to basically reboot everything. To a point we have this new, like, cinematic universe now. So I like how the way they build this all up. Because when we were seeing it before, we was always wondering, like, what if we actually see these X-Men team up with the Fantastic Four, like, when it was, like, during Fox and all like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hugh Jackman and everything. So now we can actually finally get to see it now. Like, now they got the rights to all these characters. And I'm like, I feel like I don't want to say they can possibly bring, like, because I feel like they kind of teasing they could bring Hugh Jackman, or even, what's his name? I believe his name Patrick Stewart, that played Professor X from the first one, the first X-Men. Like,
no, bro, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is.
Hugh Jackman?
But
Hugh Jackman gonna ask for a lot, bro.
But this is Marvel. If Marvel, bro, you know Marvel made that happen. If it's Hugh Jackman, bro, for real. Because who can
he ain't a regular actor, for one.
Yeah.
He's, like, you have to understand, when you think of Wolverine, let's be real. Let's really be real. Do you think of the old school cartoon Wolverine, or do you think of Hugh Jackman Wolverine?
You really think Hugh Jackman?
At this point, it's obviously Hugh Jackman. At this point, yeah.
Right. So he has like the demand, as in no one else has ever played a Wolverine live screen. He has the demand, but more than that, bro, he don't want to play Wolverine. So if they want him to play, bro, he go ask for that number, and they're going to pay him that number.
But that's the thing. It's kind of like this can't even be. It don't even have to be something long term. I think this is just an appearance, like, because they obviously kind of make it clear they gonna reboot the X-Men, which we already know there's variants in this multiverse already. So I'm like, they can do a way where they can show a new version of them, and it can be like an old version. Like, you'll never know which way they go with it. Like, that's how I felt they was going to try to do with Blade. Like, how they was going to. They said they could possibly bring like the Wesley Snipes version back and just show like an appearance with him. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. But like you said, they is going to want a bag for it, but this is Marvel. Marvel could probably be the only company that could really just give them a bag if they really want to do that. But if you get the fans they want, bro,
back a little bit up on that villain talk is, you like how you said once Dark Knight came out, that's about Joker, and that's everybody started. I kind of feel, I don't know, with me it's different because, you know, again, bro, you know me how I am with Venom, but then at the same time, a lot of people at that time when our Fantastic Four during our time, you know, with the Silver Surfer and the Captain America that is playing that was playing the Human Torch at that time. You feel me? I kind of was feeling some villains during that time, but then again, like how I said, during this time, because like how it said, like well, a little bit like how Frank touched up on during the whole Captain America's, like any of the movies, they're basically just showing pieces of Thanos, and we all know. Well, once y'all, because you know I found out late. Once y'all first found out Thanos was coming, you know, that pretty much what y'all was really hyped for, because we finally y'all getting this nigga to appear on screen in real life. So it was it's a little bit different, bruh, because how long ago did Avengers first come out? Like the very first Avengers, I'm pretty sure that came out like 09, 2010, one of them time.
It was 2012 when the first one came out. Yep, 2012.
Yeah. Now about that time, I'm pretty sure that was about the same time, about couple of years RIP to the person that played the Joker on Dark Knight at that time. That was literally about the time he just passed. So that's where people start looking more into villains at that time, bro. That's all I just want to touch up on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll give you that, bro. But yeah, I like you said, bro, this is the first time we actually get to see like a universe that's actually built up. Before we were just seeing just pieces of parts of the universe. It seemed like it was just all separate at first, but now, like you said, now we actually get to see a build up of all these characters now. But we actually getting characters that we love, that we grew up off of. Like we finally get to see your Venom. You know what I'm saying? I get to see my Punisher, my Simon. We get to see Spider-Man. We get to see your Thor, Frank. Like we getting characters that we can see like different variants of them. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like
quick question, because I think all y'all probably do know the answer to this. When is Planet Hulk coming out?
Planet Hulk. They actually made like a animated version of that, but like in terms of live action, that's I mean, like you said, we got variants now, so I feel like that's up to Marvel.
I think it happened already.
Yeah,
it happened already.
That's what I'm only saying. I'm sorry to cut you off, Frank, but if y'all do remember on No Way Home when Fury went to go look for Peter, it was, what about Captain? He's gone. What about Doctor Strange? He's doing this. Hulk, Planet Hulk. You're the only person I have right now at my disposal.
It was just a car. So I believe what they did, I didn't like that they did this, but they kind of copped out with this one because they didn't have enough, they didn't have enough fan base backing for a Hulk standalone movie at the time. We already had like 2 or 3 Hulk movies, and we were kind of like, for a Hulk movie, right? The audience was kind of like, But if you remember, they pretty much merged the storyline of Planet Hulk with
Thor Ragnarok.
With Thor Ragnarok, yeah. So like Planet Hulk, if y'all remember, like the comic series of Thor Ragnarok is when Thor like got his real power. He didn't need Mjolnir like that. He was able to like channel his power. That pretty much happened in the movie, as well as Hulk's story. Oh, yeah. So they merged 2 stories into one, and they both was able to be partners to defeat Surtur and Hela. I think that they could have really made that into like 2 or 3 movies. Because think of it like this. The Planet Hulk story, oh my gosh. I watch that animation movie all the time. It's so good, bro.
Yeah.
And also, Thor's Ragnarok story, him trying to save Asgard, defeating the Midgard serpent and all that, that's a really great story too. And then Hela being Thor's, let's say Hela was like Thor's first enemy, and then in the second movie it was Surtur. Bruh, they brought in Surtur, who was he was an Omega level villain, bruh. Surtur is like Odin level. So I was shocked that they killed him off so easily.
Right. But like you said, I think this is because this is based off Ragnarok. So I feel like you have to have like a Omega level character to like destroy, you know what I'm saying, be the destroyer of that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they just use Surtur like out of all them characters, because like there's so many characters and villains based off Asgard you could have used, you know what I'm saying? But I guess I feel like he probably would have been the best representation of Ragnarok, because in terms of the comics, Surtur was like the one that actually caused like Ragnarok in the comics too, or was it him? Okay.
It was a thing called the Midgard serpent.
Okay. Midgar.
So you ever Fing Fang Foom?
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah, the big dragon. Yeah.
Imagine Fing Fang Foom, but a bigger dragon. Imagine he's big, but way bigger than that.
Right. Damn. Okay. Yeah, 'cause always like you said,
No,
bro.
remember,
Like,
you know what? I was thinking that's what they was gonna show in the Ragnarok movie, like that dragon. But I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I guess it's.
Bro, I've been trying to see a dragon for so long, bro. I thought they was gonna show they showed the dragon in Shang-Chi, but he wasn't like hella raw. I thought he was gonna be raw, breathing fire and stuff.
right.
Bang, bang.
Right. That's why I was kind of confused with it too, because I'm thinking it was gonna be Fiend Fang Foom in this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was kind of thinking too when I was watching, but it just seemed like it's just a dragon based off, I guess, in that world, I guess, where it was at. So I was just like, I mean, it was cool, but we was all thinking like this could be Fiend Fang Foom when they was teasing dragons and all that. I'm like, okay, fine, we get to see him. Finally, I'm like, bruh. But I'm like, we could possibly see him. Though. I feel like we could possibly see him. I'm like, if they already teasing dragons. I'm like, he's the main dragon that we all know of, like out of all of them. So I'm like, if anything, you at least want to get the other ones out the way first and just save him for last. That's if they want to do that. But yeah, but with it's crazy to think of the Planet Hulk, like you said, the Planet Hulk did happen in that Ragnarok movie. I feel like they just kind of did like a split between two Hulks in a way. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, at times I be forgetting like that even happened with the battle between him and Thor, and how sometimes I be forgetting about that sometimes but I feel like what they're doing with the Hulk, because they know they can't, like you said, they can't do movies with him, so they trying to use him as like the side character, and it's smart they doing it for Thor movies, because I'm like he's basically his partner out of all of them, like it's basically his number one team up partner, so it makes sense he's doing the Thor movies, but. The Hulk that I'm like, bro, this is one of the main Marvel characters. Like, he definitely deserve a film. It's like the fact they trying to use She-Hulk and trying to use him to like, it's like, bro, like you said, it could be just based on fan base and all like that, bro. I know it's a lot that goes into it, and I don't know if they got necessarily all the rights to the Hulk. I'm not necessarily sure in terms of Universal.
They do.
Oh, they do. Okay,
they have all the rights.
Okay, for sure.
So the last two Hulk movie. Oh wait, last two. The last Hulk movie was a Marvel Hulk movie. We don't even realize that, but it actually was a Marvel Hulk movie.
Yeah, it was
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you remember I used to watch that dang near every day, Frank.
It had Thunderbolt Ross in it. You know what I'm saying? It even teased at the end. It had a little teaser. It had Abomination in it. The same Abomination that we seen in this one and in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Even though that Abomination looked a little bit more evolved, like he had like fins for ears and stuff like that, kind of like the more cartoon Abomination, but he was still the name of Abomination, the guy who turned it, he still was him. So,
Blonsky,
same universe.
Yeah, he's still everything's still connected. But like you said, we still haven't gotten like it's like now at this point we just seeing continuation of like the Hulk story now after all these years, which is fair because it's like there's a lot of baggage you got to put in this Avengers story. Like I know they was really trying to build up for the Infinity Stones and Thanos. Like that was really the main thing about this universe. So I understand that. Now you got that out the way. Now we got variants. I'll say the only versions of Hulk we haven't seen yet is World Breaker Hulk and Maestro. That's the only ones we haven't seen yet. And they're the most OP ones I know of for sure outside of Planet Hulk. So I'm like, they probably can go that route. Like I said, we got variants now. Like I'm hoping we could, but it's like World Breaker Hulk, somebody you want to save up for, because like you gotta probably, like you said, how they did What If with Ultron. He's that OP to a point. You know what I'm saying? You got to bring people from a different universe just to fight against, World Breaker Hulk, bro. Cause he's too OP, dude.